South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham and Florida Congressman Michael Waltz. Senator, you're the senior senator, so I'm going to go to you. You guys released a joint statement today. I don't want to get into the weeds of it. We know the call took place. He's supposed to be coming to Congress. Y'all want him to show up. He'll be there in 2 weeks. What is going to be the line of questioning?
Well, number one, I don't want to try General Milley or anybody else in the media. You know, Mike was a Green Beret. He was a warrior out there killing the bad guys. I spent 33 years as a judge advocate in the Air Force, as a military judge, defense counsel, and prosecutor. So before we court-martial somebody, let's get the evidence. What do I want to hear? I want to hear from Milley. I'm tired of talking about what the book says Milley said. I want to see the transcript, and I want to hear from Milley. And I will say this, as been a military lawyer for 33 years. If the book is accurate and the conversation did occur as described in the book, General Milley undercut civilian control of the
Senator,
military.
I just want to stay with you for a second, because I hear what you're saying, and everyone is innocent until proven otherwise. But we already know from the interim DOD, the acting Secretary of Defense, that he did not approve the second phone call. Now, I know the generals like doing what they want to do, but we have a system in America. It wasn't approved. So should he resign simply based on that?
Well, Dan, we don't know what the phone call was about. Dan nailed it.
Doesn't matter.
What the hell were they talking about?
It wasn't approved.
I think it. No, I mean, generals talk to generals all the time about the state of military exercises. I don't buy that at all. The content does matter. Dan was right. If the content was that we've got a shaky president, I promise you we're not going to attack, but if he does something crazy, I'll give you a heads up, that's completely unacceptable. But I don't want to hear from me and you about what he said. I want General Milley to come forward tomorrow and clear this up for the sake of the country.
Congressman, where do you stand on this? Should he resign?
Well, I think the senator's right. It's the content that matters. That's why we have congressional oversight. That's why you're sworn under oath in your testimony. And we need to hear that. The senator and I, though, we want to hear some answers before 2 weeks from now, because we think it's that critical. Yeah. But we have to understand that, you know, in that transition period, in that election period, and then that transition, we are absolutely vulnerable to our adversaries. That's when the Russians, the Chinese, and others are seeking to take advantage of us. And if General Milley had such concerns about the commander-in-chief, did he share those with Secretary Pompeo, the National Security Advisor, Robert O'Brien? Was this something the interagency was aware about? Had they seen this intelligence that's cited that, you know, the Chinese were so concerned they were perhaps considering a preemptive strike? So there's a lot more to learn here, and that's why we have these hearings, and that's what we're looking forward to.
I'm going to be looking forward to seeing you guys' questions, because, like I said, the American people want answers, and there's this philosophy that we see the generals just doing what they want to do, and it seems like this is a general that got caught. Senator, I want to get your thoughts on the Taliban. You guys just released a statement saying you guys wanted them to be designated as a terrorist organization. Tell me about that. They're already a terrorist organization, so what are we going to do to hold them accountable?
If we designate them as a foreign terrorist organization under U.S. law, which they should be, the Haqqani Network is a foreign terrorist organization. The Pakistan Taliban under our law are a foreign terrorist organization. Why would not the Taliban in Afghanistan be a foreign terrorist organization? Because they're a bunch of damn terrorists. So if Mike and I have our way, they will be designated a foreign terrorist organization. We cannot legally give them a dime. We will isolate them. We will come after any country who empowers the Taliban. And I want to tell every country out there, if you give these guys money, you're giving people money who have American blood on their hands and led to the first 9/11 and going to allow the second 9/11. So you're going to have a real problem with the U.S. Congress if you legitimize
Senator,
the Taliban.
With all due respect, your old buddy Joe Biden wants them to be a inclusive government.
Yeah, well, let me tell you about my old buddy Joe Biden. My old buddy Joe Biden has been about as dumb as a rock on foreign policy for 30 years. He's been a disaster as president of the United States. He's trying to blame the military. General Milley advised him to keep Bagram open and have troops on the ground, not to withdraw. It wasn't Milley that got us out of Afghanistan. It was Joe Biden. Joe Biden's the one that pushed us out of Iraq. He's been wrong about everything. So I'm tired of blaming Trump. When Trump left, Bagram was in our hands as Americans, and we had 2,500 troops on the ground. The reason the Taliban are in charge today is because of Joe Biden, not Donald Trump, not the generals.
Congressman, the American people have a simple request. When are we going to get our people back? Is it going to happen? Or are we going to have body bags of Americans coming back to this country?
Well, let's call the situation what it is, and it's the largest hostage crisis since 1979 in Tehran. And now you're seeing the administration push in humanitarian aid, which the Taliban are going to control and distribute. Let's call that what it is, which is ransom. Those 8 planes full of Americans and full of our Afghan allies are still, to this day, stuck up in an airport in Mazar-e-Sharif. But, you know, to what the senator and I are getting at is the Biden administration, led by Biden and Blinken, are going down this road of we can work with good and moderate terrorists against the bad terrorists. And let's be clear, and the intelligence is clear, the Taliban equals al-Qaeda. The head of the Taliban has been sworn allegiance to by the current head of al-Qaeda, Zawahiri, who was Osama bin Laden's deputy. Their prime minister is the guy that refused to give Osama bin Laden up. The only thing that has changed about the Taliban is their propaganda machine, but they're dealing with the same crowd around Biden that did Benghazi, that did the Berghdal trade, that pulled us out of Iraq and led to the ISIS caliphate and did the Iran deal. They're appeasers to terrorists, and we're trying to stop it.
No one should be surprised about the Taliban. They are who they say they are. No one should be surprised about the Biden administration. I just want to make sure that the Republicans that are in the Congress and the Senate are going to hold them accountable. Congressman, Senator, thanks so much for joining the program.
Thank you.